In this video, I want to explain you a very simple trading strategy based on trend lines. You know, trend lines are this rudimentary or very simple tool, but is very useful and very helpful to develop a price action based trading strategy. Before watching this video, I encourage you to watch the video I did last week, this video that you can find on my Rumble channel, trading_soldier, where I explain my price action trading strategy for Bitcoin and crypto. So this video will be very helpful for you to understand the video that you are watching right now, because in this video I explain a lot of concepts that are very helpful about price action that you need to understand before watching this video that you are watching now. So I also encourage you to follow me on Twitter at trading_soldier, where I post daily updates in the market about my trading ideas, also news, also a lot of things that will be helpful for you and for your trading. And also you can visit my website trading-soldier.com, where you can find also the said before, as I said before, the video or the article where I explain the trading strategy based on price action. This here, you can find also the video on Rumble here embedded, and also you can see a lot of posts with photos where I explain this trading strategy in a, let's say, post format in my website. Also you can find a lot of other trading strategies very well explained. You see a lot of free content for you to learn about trading. So let's jump into the video. So what is a trend line based strategy? You know, for me, trend lines are part of a price action trading strategy. That's why I encourage you to watch this video that I post before this video. So we need to analyze the price action in order to draw the trend lines that are going to give you or give us the direction of the market to plan our trades or to execute our trades in the chart. Okay, so I like to start, for example, I will put this example of Polkadot USD because it's an asset that I trade a lot and I know very well, and also I see that the trend lines are very respected, are very, let's say, very probable to be respected by the price. Okay, so how we can do this strategy based on trend lines and price action? As I said in the latest video I published last week talking about price action, you need to switch between time frames because a trend line drawn in a higher time frame has more hierarchy than a trend line drawn in a lower time frame. Okay, this is a concept of hierarchy of the time frames because weekly time frame has more hierarchy than a daily time frame, and also daily time frame has more hierarchy than a 4-hour chart. Okay, so this is a very simple concept. So for example, here let's start. You know that to draw a line you need 2 points only to draw a line. So for example, in this chart, in the weekly chart that is a higher time frame chart, we can, for example, here we have 1 point here this week here, and we can also, okay, you see, very easy. You know, we have 1 point here, then other point here, 2 points, 3 points, 4 points, 6 points, 7 points with that week. Okay, this is a trend line. Okay, you need to find a line where a lot of wicks or a lot of candles converge in these same areas, and then you draw your line. Okay, so this is telling you, this line is telling you that here we are in a massive downtrend. Okay, now again here, if we zoom in the last year of the Polkadot price action, we can also draw other trend lines. Okay, for example, we are going to draw this trend line. Okay, as you can see here, we have these weeks. Okay, week rejection, then again week rejection, again week rejection, week rejection, week rejection, and again this trend line in this time is acting as resistance. We can draw also another trend line. For example, we copy and we paste this trend line, and we see that if we drag these parallel trend lines, we can see that here also, more or less, we can find another trend line, but this trend line is acting as support. Okay, so now we see that price goes here, rejects, and here if we replay, I don't want to do the replay, but if we are not seeing this part of the price of the chart, and we are seeing only this week and this, for example, 2 weeks from here, let's say this area, only this area, sorry. Okay, let me see if the chart gives me the opportunity to, okay. If we only see this area here, okay, we can draw the trend line, okay, because we have 2 points, 1 point, 2 points, also 3 points, okay. So we are now projecting how we think, or how there is a lot of probability that the price will develop in the future. With just this point, okay, for example, we take into account this point, this rejection point here, okay. Let me do this a little bit smaller, okay. Also these rejections, okay, these 3 rejections are telling you that this trend line, you can draw this trend line, and are telling you that this trend line is a good support trend line, okay. So you can expect that the next time the price touches this trend line, it will act again as support, okay. As the same concept will be applied if the trend line in the upper side is being touched by the price. You can expect that this trend line will act as resistance, okay. And also, if we want to do it a little bit better, we can also copy paste again this trend line that I drew before, and we can drag it to the middle of the channel, okay. For example, here, okay, yes, okay. You see now the beautiful channel that I just drew here in the weekly time frame. You can see that the price is moving from May 2022, from now September 2023, just 1 year and a half, moving inside the same channel, the polka dot price, okay. And as you see, the central line of the channel is acting also as support and resistance when it pierces in every direction. So for example, now is resistance, it pierces the trend line, now again resistance, then is flipping into support, and now we can also expect, for example, now from now on in the future, we are going to analyze the last part of the polka dot price from, let's say, January 2023, from now September 2023. Now we can expect, if the price goes down here now, and we can expect a bounce. In the other hand, if the price breaks here, the next support we can expect is for example this lower support trend line, and then we can expect this acting as resistance, okay, and price moving into these channels, and again, okay. You see the concept. These trend lines, you need to find points where a lot of weak rejections happened. You have to unify these points with a trend line, and then you can copy and paste this trend line to create channels, and these channels are very useful for trading inside of them. As I said before, now we are in a weekly time frame. This is telling us the bigger picture history of this chart, okay. But if we want to switch to let's say weekly time frame, in my opinion, and as I use it, is for monthly trades, swing trades that I open and I leave open for a month, or 1 month or 2 months, for a longer period of time. But if I want to make a trade in a period of weeks, I will use the daily time frame. And as you see, the same trend lines that I drew before in the weekly time frame are respected in the daily time frame. So you can take trades based on your previous analysis on the weekly time frame in the daily time frame. Okay, it's the same. So the only thing is that this trend line are very strong support and resistance levels because our analysis that we made before is in the weekly time frame. Okay, so if we want to take a trade into the daily time frame, looking to open this trade now and to close it 1 or 2 weeks ahead in time, we are going to expect, if we take into consideration this trend line strategy, we are going to expect that price, we are not going to open the trend line here, okay? We are going to open a short if the price goes into resistance. So here, for example, you see that many times the price weak to liquidate shorts and then goes down. For example, if I want to take a swing short position in Polkadot, if the price is going up and here now is finding is finding demand and is finding support and price is bouncing, okay, I will open a short position here, okay, I put my stop loss with a wide stop loss and then I will target the lower part of the channel, okay, because what I want to do is as soon as price reaches my resistance trend line, I will open my trade with a wide stop loss because I don't want to get any wicks and then get liquidated or close my position and then price reverses into my initial analysis, and we are going to close the position into the next trend line into the channel, okay? In the opposite side, if now price is beginning to show weakness and price retraces back to this support level, I will take a long trade, okay? For example, I can open my long right here and I will put my take profit into the next resistance level. Also, I want to have a wide stop loss because I want to avoid to get a wick down to close my position and then the price reverses into my initial analysis, okay? So this is the swing trade perspective of the trend line trading strategy that I am explaining you. But we can also do these plays, these trades in a lower time frame, such as 4-hour charts, okay? As you see in the 4-hour chart, if we analyze the last months from June from now, we can also draw a lot of trend lines. You don't need to play inside of the trend lines that you draw in the higher time frames. You can also draw a lot of trend lines inside lower time frames that are also very helpful and very, very probable to be, let's say, that you can do a trading strategy based on these trend lines. But as you should know, and as I explained you before, a lower time frame trend line has less hierarchy than a higher time frame trend line. So the probability of this trend line not being respected is higher in the lower time frame than if you find a trend line in the higher time frame. So now we are in the 4-hour chart and we can, for example, draw a trend line from here, okay? You see this trend line? We can take these 2 points, one weak rejection. Here also we can take it into account if we put it here, for example, and we draw weak rejection, weak rejection, weak rejection, weak rejection, and now the trend line is being pierced by the price, okay? Because price now is lateral, okay? But for example, here you have a lot of trading opportunities. For example, here is 1 point. You cannot take a trade here because price can also go higher, okay? So you need 2 points to draw a trend line. So you need to wait for 1, 2. Now you can draw the trend line. Then when it touches 3, here, okay? When here the price touches the third time, you can open your short position here, okay? Short position, for example, and then boom, short trade. Again, when price touches here, when price touches here, the trend line again, you can open other short position here, okay? Now the trend line is being broken, so maybe we can do this trend line. We are not going to delete it because can be useful, because usually trend lines switch as from resistance to support. So now, for example, we can expect that price maybe retests this trend line and then reverses into the major resistance trend line that we draw in the weekly time frame, okay? So this is one of the plays that you can do. For example, in the 4-hour chart, you can expect to open a position and close it in 1, 2 to 7 days as a swing trade, okay? But you also can do this analysis in these trades inside of the 1-hour time frame, okay? For example, if we go here to the 1-hour time frame, let me delete this. You can draw trend lines also based on these lower time frames, but you need to be aware that these trend lines have a lot of probability to not being respected. Higher time frame trend lines have more hierarchy than lower time frame trend lines, so you have to take this into account, okay? For example, also here you have 2 points, okay? 2 to 3 points, okay? You see, 1 point, 2 points, 3, 4 points, okay? You have this upside trend line, you have this trend line that will act as resistance, okay? Rejection, 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 support, 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 okay? So we find ourselves inside of a triangle, as ascending triangle, okay? So now here we can play long, for example. We are touching this side, we can play long if we want to do a short scalp, okay? A long scalp, sorry. You can wait for price touching this trend line and then close the position when the price touches the resistance trend line, okay? So you have support trend line, resistance trend line, okay? So you can do these plays, these little games based only on price action and trend lines, okay? Also, for example, in the last few days, this is 11 of September, you can also play this play, for example, this trend line, okay? You see here you have two points, 1 point, 2 points. You draw the trend line, you expand the trend line into the future, and you see that we have another rejection. Here we don't enter long. Here we don't enter long because we need 2 points to draw the trend line. We enter long at the third. So here we are watching. As soon as the price reaches the trend line again, I will put my long here, okay? And I will make a take profit, okay? Where I set my take profit, I will search for another trend line, okay? For example, here we can join these points, and for example, our take profit will be there, okay? Before knowing what is going to happen, you expect a higher probability that this trend line will be acting as support, so we place a long to trade into this resistance trend line. Also, we can, for example, play this resistance trend line. Maybe it's better for you because you see 1 point, 2 point, 3 point, 4 points, and now the 5th point, okay? You see that is very, very useful, okay? And the same game, you can do it into the downside, because when you are touching the support trend line, you can play longs, okay? Again, for example, here, again, we can play along here, okay? And we expect take profit there. This time, price reverses very early, okay? It's not clockwork, this, but also you can place a short here. For example, you know this is the resistance trend line, so you can place a short, okay, a short position here. Okay, you expect that when the price reaches this trend line, bounces, and then you put your take profit into the next trend line, into the support trend line. Okay, that's the play of the trend lines. This is very simple to use. As you see, you only need to find 2 weak rejections to draw the support trend line, and you need to find 2 weak rejections to draw the resistance trend line, and you can play a lot with this kind of strategies. Only with trend lines and analyzing price action. I don't using, as you see in this chart, any indicators, any volume, any EMAs, SMAs, nothing. Clean chart and only price action and trend lines. Okay, you can do this. I used as an example Polkadot because it's, as I said before, it's a coin that I trade usually, so I know very well this pair. Okay, but you can do the same in Bitcoin. For example, I'm going, as you see here in this chart, I made a lot of analysis. Let's switch to 4 hours to see it better. And you see that here, for example, this trend line that you see here, okay, this major trend line, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rejections. Okay, the same for this scalp, or not scalp, swing positions, but in the 4-hour chart. Okay, you see 1 rejection, support, again pierced, okay, now support, long. Okay, you see these trend lines, these shorter time frame trend lines that play out also. But if you go to the daily time frame, you can see that this trend line, this bearish trend line, okay, where we get these rejections, okay, these 8 rejections, now 1, 2, 3, you can see here that this trend line is being drawn from the highs of 2021. Okay, so if we draw this trend line with these 2 points, here, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points, okay, you can project this trend line into the future. You can create a channel, okay, and we see that indeed this trend line is being held, is being respected, but by price, because we have drawn this trend line into a higher time frame. If we go to the weekly, you can see that this trend line is completely valid. Okay, so now that we are resistance, I will make a little prediction here. Maybe right, maybe wrong, we don't know. Also, we can copy and paste this. Sorry, you can copy and paste this. What? Okay. I don't know why it's doing this, but we can do also the middle channel. Okay, so if we go here, for example, we can draw the middle part of the channel. Okay, you see? So now what can we expect for Bitcoin for the next month in the weekly time frame? We can expect now, if we are touching resistance, we can expect a bounce into the equilibrium of the channel. Okay, and this will be $10,000. Okay, based on this trend line trading strategy. Maybe price goes only here and never touch again the low part of the channel. Okay, but if we stick with the analysis of this trend line on the middle part of the trend line, because we see that now is acting as support, we can also draw it lower, but I will put it here because acted here as resistance, also here, okay, and now then as support here. So we can expect, yeah, $5,000, $6,000, $9,000, okay. So that is for the video. That is for the trading strategy based on trend lines. You need to find 2 points and then project the trend line into the future. This is very simple trading strategy. It's very useful, and you can combine this strategy with all the other strategies that I explain you in my Rumble channel, also on YouTube. Also you can find these tutorials or trading strategies on Twitter, because I upload also the videos on Twitter. And also you can visit my website trading-saldier.com, where you can find these trading strategies in a post format, in a written format, that you can read and maybe study a little bit more than in a video. Also, every trading strategy that I upload to my website has its video attached, so you can watch whatever you want, the video or read the article, okay? So I hope you find helpful this video. I think that this trend line trading strategy is very underestimated, because a lot of people want to find this very easy indicator that tells you where to buy and where to sell, and you really don't need that. You need to understand price action, need how to have skin in the game, to train your eye to see patterns in price, to see how price reacts to certain demand and supply zones, and then you can draw very simple trend lines, and you can make very profitable trades just based on price action and trend lines, just imaginary lines, and just seeing price, how acts, analyzing candles, analyzing patterns, and then drawing trend lines and taking execution of your trades based on those trend lines. Very simple trading strategy, very effective, very quick, but you need to train your brain a little bit to execute it. As I said before, I encourage you to follow me on Twitter at trading_soldier, and also visit my website, as I said before, and my Rumble channel. As you should know now, I have also a YouTube channel, but YouTube, I don't like so much YouTube, because I had very bad experience with YouTube in the past, with other channels that I had in the past. So I encourage you to follow me on Rumble, because I think that Rumble and also Twitter are the social media platforms that are doing a good thing with content creators. So we need to support them and to create content for them, okay? So thank you very much for your time. Thank you for watching the video. Leave me a like, leave me a comment if you have any doubts, or you want to share something with the community, and we see you on the next one.